Howdy, everybody. Cowboy Adonis says hello and welcome to the podcast. How are you guys doing out there? I'm riding the high because the Minnesota Vikings won and I'm owed some food. So I actually have my maid, my partner in crime, bringing me a little something. Would you please come on in and bring it to me? I appreciate you, sir, so much. Oh, I'm about to get ready to eat pretty good here.
You're right, baby.
Oh, look at that apron.
I'm a man of my word, man. I got to live it up. I asked him, who's picking the Jets?
That's right, me.
Who's picking the Jets? I said, get out of here. I'll make you dinner. So you know what I did? I made the man some steak, burger, and fries. It may not be the greatest, but it's steak, burger, and fries. How's it cooked?
Buns toasted nicely.
I mean, my podcast skills are as good as my cooking skills, baby.
I like, the fries are good.
I like that bib.
Little piece of the burger before we start.
That's a little Cookie Monster bib. You was dialed in. You was ready.
I tell you, boy, that tastes just like righteousness right there, boy.
That sounds like a good bet win. That's what it sounds like.
Man, listen.
I'll eat my words. That's what I'm going to eat. My words. I'll shut up moving forward.
I'm going to work on this in a second. But Tyler, go ahead and bring us in, my friend.
Oh, man. That was a good week in sports, man. To play. He got to start, and he beat my boys.
He did.
Beat the brakes off of them, matter of fact. Tyson Bagent got his first start this week. He played within the system. He was 29 of 20, 161, no turnovers. Made all the throws he was supposed to, scrambled when he was supposed to, did all the right things. And moving forward, I think the Bears are going to let him loose this week for the Chargers. I'm excited to see that. Jaguars, another one of our teams, out there doing things. It took a drop from Foster Monroe, but the Jags played a great football game. Trevor was supposedly injured. I didn't see it. He was out there running around doing things. I really think the Jags have taken that step. I mean, Trevor managed the game perfectly for what the situation was. So we're going to jump right into it, man.
What you got? What you got for us? Talk to me.
It's week of the world's largest cocktail party here around this area. Florida-Georgia weekend in Jacksonville. And it gets wild around here.
Oh, it does.
I mean, I'm stoked. I'm actually going to go live giving things away.
Okay.
So I'm hoping people want to tune in and watch it and see all the crazy stuff that those people want to do down there. Because those people will do anything for a T-shirt or a hat. And I'm going to give them both away.
Listen,
I'm giving them all away.
If you really want to know what, like you said, people are capable of doing to get things, Mardi Gras beads.
Yeah, I mean, just beads. They're willing to do anything.
Easy.
I'm going to give these guys hats and T-shirts. I'm going to do different little, they're going to do a lot of different stupid things, and they're going to love it. And I'm just going to go from tailgate to tailgate doing it, and I think it's going to be a great time.
As far as the football goes, Florida, Georgia, do we have anything to anticipate, to look forward to? Is it just going to be an old-fashioned butt whooping? I mean, you probably know more about Florida, Georgia than I do.
I think that Florida's going to give Georgia everything they can handle.
Okay.
It is a 14.5-point spread. I like Florida
to cover.
I like Florida to cover that game.
I was like, you finished that sentence.
Georgia has not been the dominant team that we have seen in the past. And, I mean, you can only lose so many people into the NFL until you don't become as dominant. But they have struggled in games. They've struggled against Auburn. They didn't look great against Vandy. They haven't covered very much, to be honest.
That's fair.
Moving forward, I actually think Florida's getting better. And Georgia's still good. I mean, they're the best team in the country.
They're still going to go to the national championship game.
I don't know if
we're going to project them to go.
They're still Georgia, and they've earned the right to be number one. They're still number one. Florida, on the other hand, Graham Mertz, they seem to be getting better and better each and every week. So it's going to be interesting. And I think, obviously, it's a rivalry game, and I just think that Florida's going to surprise some people this week. So looking forward to that game.
Best part about Florida, Georgia, the tailgates and the atmosphere. So we're
the
looking forward to
tailgates
that.
and the atmosphere is where it's at.
Tyler's going to be out there, right?
Live.
He's going to be out there giving away stuff. Are you going to wear anything so people can,
the hat's going to be very, very, very
all right,
visible.
There you go. So if you can find the hat, find Tyler. He'll have some swag for you.
Come get some shirts. Come get some hats. Get some cool things. I'm super excited about it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait. I hope to join you, but we'll see what happens with that.
I mean, you'll be down there.
What's on schedule, buddy? Talk to me. What are we doing today?
But let's jump right into it, man. Let's talk about the Jags. Let's talk about the hometown team, man. They're doing it.
They struggled.
They did. I mean, they did, but
They
they
struggled.
played in the Superdome on a short week in New Orleans. I wouldn't say they struggled. They put up 31. They played good defense. Josh Allen got 11 pressures.
The only
11.
Listen, that game came down to a young man missing a ball in the back of the end zone.
I felt bad for that.
That
guy.
was close. It was close.
I'll tell you what, man. I feel bad for Foster Monroe. I feel bad for Derek Carr because now Derek Carr is taking all the smoke.
Yeah, and
all the smoke.
I mean, it was a really frustrating game on the New Orleans Saints part because their defense is good. The defense was able to hold. They eliminated Calvin Ridley from the game. Didn't hear him, didn't see him. He was on an island. I had no idea he was even playing.
He had one catch.
That's it.
He had one catch.
So it's really tough when the Saints defense is good. Like, they're not top tier. They're not Browns. They're pretty good. They're up there. But it sucks when you're Derek Carr and you can't get that offense going. Then the one chance you get, Olave stops running.
Yeah, but I mean, that ball probably was going to be called anyways. But I think it's more of a frustration level why he was so mad. The frustration level is they can't seem to get on the same page. Seems like it's like a timing thing. They're off here, they're off there. And Carr's taking all the smoke. I mean,
he has to. He's the quarterback.
I understand.
Yeah, he's going to
have
to.
I don't disagree. He's taking all the smoke. He deserves the smoke right now because they're not scoring in the red zone. They're moving the football. They're not scoring in the red zone, and that's the green zone. That's not the red zone. That's the green zone.
I wouldn't even say they're moving the football. Like 99% of that game was dump. Alvin Kamara had like 14 catches.
That's the second time this year they've done that. Second time this year he's had over 10 catches. And
I'm just not. I mean,
we got to push the ball down the field, guys. And then they waited till the fourth quarter. Then they find Mike Thomas in the end zone on a deep ball. And then they move the ball all the way down the field. And then Carr makes a good throw to Foster Monroe to tie the ball game. Drop. And you feel bad for him. But he didn't even take the smoke. Carr took all the smoke.
He did.
So, but once again, he deserves it because they're not doing what I expect them to do. But it is only it's not even halfway through the season yet. So I'm still a Saints believer. I still think they're going to get together. The offensive line is a problem.
Yeah, they're going to need to because I mean, they put up they played a great game against Jacksonville. Jacksonville just wanted it more.
I mean, Jacksonville, they are winning in different ways that I didn't expect them to win.
And that's all you need to do.
And that's what's important. So when your offense isn't clicking, your defense can win you a game. And when your defense is off, I feel like they have the offense to win the game. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that balance.
It's really hard, short of my Vikings, to play a complete football game in all three phases.
I know you're excited.
I know. We are going to get there. We're going to get there. But I think what's really important is what you said. Every week, as long as you find a way to win, that's all that matters. And if Trevor had a tweet. He had a really saucy tweet where he said, every week we do what we need to do to win. And he was like, analysts take that.
And that's it. And that's what you're looking for. He didn't have a great numbers game. He didn't have a lot of those. But what he did was he managed the football game to the point to where they didn't lose and they won the game. And that's what you're looking for. That's that. When you don't have your best stuff, you got to find a way to win.
You got to find a way to win. Your best player is completely taken away on offense.
Finding the ways to win. And that's why I love them. And that's why they've moved into my top 5. I won't tell you where, but they're in my top 5. They were 5th last week and they've moved forward. And I'm a big fan of the Jaguars right now. And I remember, ever since I said the word relax, they haven't lost. They haven't lost.
Listening live this time, boys. How about Jordan Addison and Captain Kirk?
Mr. Spock.
Tyson doing some major teabagging.
My boy teabag.
I think a big part of this podcast is being able to interactability. So
I love it.
I'm okay. I was waiting on it, so I'm glad I can't. Caleb,
I know Caleb's a big Jets guy too.
Is he?
So when you picked the Jets, buddy, and then I made a stupid comment, he rattled my cage. He got into me. I deserved every smoke, all the smoke I deserved, and that's why you have a steak burger sitting there waiting for you at some point.
So just to dive into what you said, being a Vikings fan, very
moving
excited.
Forward, just real quick, Caleb, congratulations, buddy. I did hear that you're having a baby boy. Congratulations, man.
Congratulations on the baby, man.
Yeah, man.
Jordan Addison, Captain Kirk. The Vikings offense you would think would be very stagnant without Justin Jefferson. What's the game plan, right? When in doubt, you go to JJ. JJ makes the big catch. So to be able to take on one of the best defenses in the league and arguably the best defensive line in the league and have Captain Kirk steer the ship, I was very excited. I was very happy to say the least. And do you have anything to say about his Tyson Bagent teabagging?
Teabag, my boy. That's his new nickname. I love it. Old Teabag. I don't know how he would like it, but I think it's kind of funny. He out there and he did it all over McDaniels. I mean, he just did it to him. I mean, he was putting it on his face. He was laughing at him. He was running. I'll tell you what I saw from him is what I really like in all seriousness. He played within the – they had a game plan. He played within the game plan. He didn't have to take D shots. I keep hearing the Bears fan. He didn't throw the ball past here. He didn't throw the ball past.
He doesn't need to.
He didn't have to. They were up 30-6.
Yeah,
Why are you taking opportunities when you don't have to? There's no need to take chances.
Those kind of questions are silly.
Of course, 100%.
Why?
He's a rookie quarterback.
Thank you.
He actually performed better than all the rookie quarterbacks have been taken way before him in their first game, except maybe C.J. Stroud. But he did better than Bryce Young. He did better than Bryce Young in his first game. He played with it, and he moved very well in the pocket. He never looked rattled. He never had happy feet. When he needed to run, he ran. And you know what he did when he got a first down? He just went like this and said, let's go. And the Bears fans accepted him, and they loved it. And as much as I hated it being a Raiders fan, I loved the fact that he was making it happen.
Yeah, that's what you want.
And that's what you want. Kurt Warner said, pay attention to this guy because he has a lot of him in there. He has a lot of him in the fact that he's had to earn everything he's ever gotten. He hasn't been gifted anything. He's not a prima donna.
No, he's not.
And he's actually, in his interviews, he like jokingly says things, and he seems very comfortable in every aspect of the game, and I think that's super important. Well, the moment's not too big.
That's what and everybody on the outside looking in is seeing this, right? The Bears organization, the coaches, the ball boy, everyone has seen this, which is why when the article came out, they were so high on Tyson Bagent because they saw what we saw on Sunday. Mm-hmm. The confidence. Going up to the offensive coordinator saying, listen, man, I know Justin Fields is out. I know he's our guy. I know he's out. You dial up whatever you would for him because I can take care of it. I got this.
Whether he develops into a starting quarterback in this league or is going to be a backup for the remainder or whatever he's going to be, he has earned a spot in this league and he is going to be around a long time. Whether he develops into a starter.
Not only that, you are the one person on planet Earth screaming Tyson Bagent week one.
I've been asking him.
So it would be a service to not only him but to you if he would come into this league. I don't want to see Justin Fields. I don't have anything bad to say about him. Circumstance led to Tyson Bagent.
Let me tell you what Bagent didn't do. He did not turn the ball over. And he even said there was a play down in the red zone where Deontay Foreman, he caught a ball and scored. He said he could have found Darnell Mooney, but Deontay Foreman was having a game, so I let him do his job. He caught it, and he went into the end zone. Cool. And what else are you looking for out of a kid like that? I mean,
what you want.
He showed all the confidence. I'm excited about him. He gets to start this week in primetime. He gets to start this week in primetime against Brandon Staley and the Chargers. And if Brandon Staley loses this game, he might be done.
Yeah, I know. His job's on the line.
And I'm happy because I think the Chargers have one of the worst defenses somehow, some way. They have more talent than anybody, but they have one of the worst defenses in the league. And Tyson can manage that game on primetime and do just a couple things. It's going to be very, very interesting moving forward, decide what the Bears want to do. But the Bears see the same thing I see, and it's confidence. And that goes a long way in this league.
That's what you want.
And he said, I remember there was a time when they were asking him, do you think you can play in this league? Do you think you can play in this league? And he was at a Senior Bowl, and he went down to the Senior Bowl, and they talked to him, and, he said, when I got here, I didn't know what to expect, but he said, I'm as good as these guys are. And these are the guys, the Will Levises and stuff like that were in the Senior Bowl. He said, I might be better than these guys. And that's the confidence you're looking for.
That's what you want.
And I loved it.
All right, let's roll, baby. So what we got up on
let's get right to what did you see this weekend? And where would you, and I needed you the most.
So this week, there were a lot of fun games. But I think what's important is when you're looking for moments when I needed you the most. I got 3 again this week. And we're going to start number 3, the Bills and the Patriots. Josh Allen, when I needed you the most. It's a divisionary game. I also took them in survivor pool, so I'm extra salty about this. Yes.
Hold up. Before we go any further, never in survivor do you take a road team in a division game. Let's just get that out the way.
I didn't understand how it could have happened. I'll say it like this and I'll leave it alone. I'm addressing you, Josh Allen. When I needed you the most, where were you? Your performance was lackluster. You couldn't move the ball down the field. I know the Patriots have a good defense. I understand that. But you're Josh Allen, right? You're supposed to be this perennial talent, this elite quarterback. You have elite receivers. You have a good offensive line. All those things should equate to offense. And yet, you got outscored by Mac Jones and the Patriots.
Mac Jones.
So once again, when I needed you the most. Second, on our when I needed you the most moments is going to go to the entire Broncos and Packers game. When the NFL fan base, when we needed
Wasn't
you
that
the
the
most.
last game on?
When we needed you the most. I saw a tweet where they were like, yo, I am watching this Broncos-Packers game, and I don't know if I'm watching football. I don't know what this is. I understand. And then the Broncos won. And then the Broncos won.
The Broncos lost. They did win. Jordan Love looked.
Listen, I don't understand. And then in at number one.
Oh, number one. Here we go.
When I needed you the most, I'm going to hand this award over to you, Brock Purdy.
You didn't need him the most.
When the 49ers fan base needed you the most.
There you go.
You threw 2 interceptions. I understand you're Mr. Irrelevant. We don't call you elite because we know you're not. And that's fine. But in terms of getting your job done, you did not. So when the 49ers fan base needed you the most, you ain't show up.
I would also like to add one. The Detroit Lions. You embarrassed me. You absolutely embarrassed me. I picked you as my number one team. You go into Baltimore and get slammed. I mean, you got blasted.
So that's an honorable mention?
Lamar, Gus Edwards. It didn't matter who it was. They made you look terrible.
Or maybe the Ravens were just that much of a better team.
Disappointed in Dan Campbell's. Oh, Dan Campbell.
There was no one.
Lamar was doing it. I got to give it to him. I'm not a big Lamar guy, but he was doing the thing. He was out there just making plays, and then Gus Edwards was running 80 yards down the longest play in Gus Edwards' history. Gus Edwards is not a long play guy. I think he got an 80-yard play. Good God, Detroit, thanks for making me look like an idiot.
Honorable mention. All right, let's keep going. What's up next, Tyler?
Well, let's just talk about my top 5 teams now and who can make me look stupid this week since we're already there.
Oh, boy.
So you know what I decided to do this week? I just decided to take the teams that look like they're usually good, they usually aren't. Okay. No matter what happens, they usually find a way to make the playoffs and win. Okay. So I'm going to start with the 49ers. The 49ers are going to be my number 5 team.
Okay.
Number 5 team because...
You better explain yourself.
I understand. They went in and they lost a road game on Monday night. The Vikings were excited. They played. But I still think that defense and Christian McCaffrey, and when they get Debo back and all that's going to click together, and I still think they're still an elite football team. Number 4, the Baltimore Ravens, man. They're 5-2. Their defense plays great. Lamar had himself a game. Need to see consistency, but they're doing it. Even with him, Gus Edwards, even with mediocre wide receivers, they're out there doing things. I got to give it to them. Number 3 are the Jacksonville Jaguars because they can win anyway, and that's what I like to see. I believe in Trevor. I believe in Kirk. I think Ridley will get it going. ETN's great. All these guys. Josh Allen is a man on the outside right now. He cannot be blocked. He is a stone-cold man. I mean, he's flexing. He's just destroying right and left tackles. He's just, woo. Give me the Jags number 3. Number 2, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles because they went in and they did what they were supposed to do against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are, to me right now, are frauds.
Oh, wow.
Because they can't beat anyone but bad teams.
Frauds.
They went into Philadelphia. They didn't score in the second half.
Wow.
Tyreek Hill's not a fraud. No, he's a good ball player. The rest of them are frauds. They're not winning. They haven't want to beat a good team yet. They're frauds. So give me the Eagles at number 2 because they did what they were supposed to do. And then my number 1 team, as much as it pains me and being a Raiders fan, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. He found Travis Kelce, and they did what they usually do, and they just score and they get down there and they just beat everybody. And whoever had the over in that game's puking right now.
But one of the more
it was
interesting
over 48
stats,
and a half, and it was 24-17 at half.
And it didn't get there.
It did not get there. That means no one scored in the second half.
That's not good.
Actually, there was one touchdown. It got to 48. You lose by a half a point.
That's right.
That one stinks. Especially you already chalked it up. You're over there. You're licking it. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go.
I don't have it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not only that, I think it's very important to mention also with the Kansas City Chiefs' success is largely attributed to Taylor Swift.
Oh, for the love of God.
And the stats say exactly that. Travis Kelce is averaging 109.
The Miami fraud Dolphins. I don't disagree, James. The fraud Dolphins.
Big numbers.
I will say this, though. We're going to find out a lot about the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a gauntlet over the next. They play the Commanders, and then they have a 5-game gauntlet. Cowboys.
They do.
Chiefs. Bills. Niners. Cowboys again. That is a gauntlet.
Welcome to the jungle. That's going to be real tough.
We're going to find out a lot about how good they are.
I do like your top 5. Mine is slightly different.
Okay.
Every week the list is fluid.
I like it.
Every week the list is fluid.
Okay.
In at number 5.
Let me hear this.
In at number 5, largely attributed to their defense, and the reason why they're not higher is because they lost Aaron Rodgers. The New York Jets. New York Jets. I'm gonna do it. Yep. I'm right here.
That's not the way to get followers, buddy.
I'm doing it, and it has to be done, and I can tell you why.
It's got to be Zach Wilson
against a very good Eagles team. They fought tough. Outside of a late defensive holding call, they would have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Their defense is monstrous, and I don't think Zach Wilson needs to be elite for them to be considered top 5. As long as he can do his job.
Another Jets fan very excited for you. Shocker.
As long as Zach Wilson can do his job.
I agree.
Breece Hall can do his job.
Breece is stud. I love Breece.
The studs on that wide receiver core, their offensive line. There is no critique. There's no critique for their defense. Their defense came straight from hell. They're absolute wreakers of havoc. They're nasty. And you don't need Zach Wilson to play good. You just need him to do what needs to be done.
There's my Saints guy just bitching about Carr, as usual.
Yeah, well, you don't need to complain. You need to be crying. But I think the Jets are my number 5 team. Their defense is fine. As long as Zach Wilson performs, don't need him to be great. They make the playoffs in time for Aaron Rodgers to come back. And I think Jets fans will be pretty excited towards the end of the year.
Well, they're excited that you picked them, I can tell you.
My number 4 team. Once again, I'm going to catch some heat. But listen, understand me, okay? Understand me. They lost to the Eagles, okay?
The frauds.
The
Miami frauds.
The Miami Dolphins are my number 4 team because even though they've beaten teams with a combined record of like 16-30, wherever
16?
that is.
You're giving it's like 6-30.
Sure. I can't lose confidence in Tua Tagovailoa. I can't lose confidence in Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. They have such a good offense. I can't count them out. I can't say they're a bad team.
Why can't they be good teams?
I'm not going to listen. I'll tell you why. I can tell you why. I won't go down that conspiracy theorist rabbit hole because I don't understand how you play a full game of football and the Eagles don't get one penalty. That's where I stop. They're my number 4 team. They're my number 4 team.
That's pretty wild because I saw a lot of penalties.
I'm not going down that hole because I could.
I agree. I saw that face mask on the
sidelines was
pretty evident.
And that's why they're at my number 4 team. I think that game, there was something going on.
How do you not have a penalty?
I don't understand. Number 3, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I agree.
Lamar Jackson in the offseason secured his bag. Okay, and everybody said, dude, am I getting my money's worth out of Lamar Jackson? Especially if you're a Ravens fan. You're getting your money's worth. They beat arguably one of the top 2 to 3 teams last week in the league, and they beat them bad. They skunked them. Listen, I don't understand what happened. I looked up. It was 28-0. I said somebody call somebody.
It was
real bad.
I thought the Lions were going to get back in the ballgame. They just never did.
That's what I said.
I kept waiting for it.
That's what I said.
And then I went,
it's not happening.
35-6.
It's not happening. So the Baltimore Ravens have to be number 3 for me. Their defense, they got what's his name? Roquan Smith from the Bears. Marlon Humphrey.
Oh, they got ball players.
They got ball players on defense.
And they get after it because John Harbaugh.
They get after it.
He's a tough-nosed coach. I love John.
Real tough.
Being a John Harbaugh.
So I love what they're doing out in Baltimore, and I think this win against that Lions team definitely secured them in that top 5 spot.
100%. I don't disagree. I mean, I thought the Lions were for real. I thought it was going to be a tight-fought, hard ball game. But when the Ravens went out there and they beat the brakes off them.
The brakes. Nothing left. I mean, he's on the ground just on my knees. Just, I don't know what's happening.
They were praying to get off the field.
And they couldn't. And no prayers were answered. It was still first down.
They tried to get the running clock, I heard, but the refs wouldn't give it to them.
The Ravens are my number 3 team. The Philadelphia Eagles are my number 2 team. They answered the call. Regardless any critique or any conspiracy theorists on the game, including myself, they secured the win. They beat the Dolphins. The next 6 weeks are tough for them, but right now, at this very point in time, Jalen Hurts and that Philadelphia Eagles team is my number 2 team in the league. And number 1, we don't need to speak on. Number 15, and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is all I need to say.
I know ever since Kelce and Swift been dating, they haven't lost.
That's it. Okay? That's it. Recipe for success. You listen, your ass is sitting in Skybox for the rest of the year. I don't care where we go. I don't care where we play. We can play in Antarctica. I don't care if you got a concert.
I heard Brittany Holmes she's like trying to sabotage it so she can be the number 1 person again.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, let's not get into Jackson. Oh. So those are my top 5 teams of the league. One more time from 5 up. I got the Jets, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Eagles, and the defending champs, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I mean, I like it. I'm a big fan. I mean, like I said, we're both on the Chiefs. I hate it. I hate they're good. I hate it.
It's the biggest thing you say. They do what's needed of them to win.
Yeah. They're playing defense too.
Well, the refs help them too a little bit. And yeah, I'm a little salty about the Minnesota game. The guy took his helmet off. I'm not a ref guy.
I think the best teams always show up and win. The best teams aren't the best teams just because the refs help them. The best teams are the best teams because they play football. Let's call it what it is. But tonight's game, let's get right into it. Bucks and Bills.
I don't know.
I mean, I can assure you, I'm not taking Baker Mayfield.
Listen to me.
They do play defense over there.
But I don't know what it is pregame wise. Baker could meditate, and then Baker comes out and looks like
he's going to the Aaron Rodgers. He's going to the Aaron Rodgers stuff. He's out there.
I don't know.
Dark. You think maybe he's doing that?
He could stink it up one week and he could play good.
I have a funny thing about Baker. When he goes out and he plays like Baker Mayfield and he like does all this stupid stuff and he doesn't look good, but then some days he's Maker Bayfield because he's out there just making plays. Maker Kincaid, it seems to be they're implanting him just a little more and more, and he's getting a few more plays than he ever has. So Dawson Knox is out. Dalton Kincaid's getting his chance, and he is doing his thing. And you take him in the first round, you're going to use him. You just have to implement him in just a little at a time. And now he's thrown in, and I love it.
Well, I don't think they're going to miss Dawson Knox.
I actually think putting Dalton Kincaid in the lineup is better for them.
That's what I was going to say.
He's more of a weapon, and they're looking for that next guy to be a big receiving option behind Diggs.
Do they need that? They do. Like, when you have Josh Allen, who could literally put the ball anywhere on the field that you want. You have Stephon Diggs, you have Gabe Davis.
He does make some stupid plays, and he likes to turn the ball over sometimes.
And that's not Kincaid's fault. That's Josh Allen's fault.
I understand that. But Dalton Kincaid can move inside. He can move outside.
He's a big kid.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He was the number 1 tight end prospect. He looked every bit of it last week when he was the number 1 guy, number 1 tight end. I think moving forward, the Bills are going to get him more involved, and Diggs is going to have that. They're going to have a Diggs and Kincaid, and I think those are going to be your 2 leading receivers moving forward. It is super. It is almost unfair of a matchup when you have a tight end like Kelce, for example. I'm not saying Dalton Kincaid's Kelce, but he is a receiving option, as in he could take that top 3 tight end spot as catching the football, and those are hard to cover. As we can see, Travis Kelce is almost impossible.
Like you said, it's a matchup nightmare. So with all that being said, who you got?
I mean, I got Buffalo. I mean, they're at Buffalo. The Buccaneers on the road. I just don't see any shot that they win this ball.
Any shot?
I don't see any shot. I mean, Allen turns the ball over 4 times. I don't think.
But that's possible. That's possible.
You're right. He could become. He
I'm
did against
like,
the Jets game one.
I'm like, that's possible.
But I think the Bills are going to handle the Bucs. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to make enough plays on the road. It's just hard to. It's hard on a short week too.
I don't know about handle. I think the game will be a lot closer than you think. But I'm also going to roll with the Bills. Bounce back game. You got your ass, your whole ass handed to you by the Patriots. Mac, have you seen this man, Mac Jones, walk?
Listen,
come on, man. You got your ass handed to you by Maximilian Jones.
I know we're talking about Mac Jones. He has been awful, but he did make some plays in that game. I was very impressed.
No doubt.
But one game doesn't make you a quarterback. So
no, they've played a lot of tough games this year, but losing 2 games by 30 or more is inexcusable.
He hadn't looked the part yet.
No. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna take the Bills in that.
I think the Bills.
Who you got? Who's next up?
I mean, hey, big win for your Vikings, San Francisco. I went Vikings Packers on the very next game that we're gonna pick. I'm taking the Vikings. I don't like what I saw out of Jordan Love. Don't like anything about it. I don't like it seems like they're not getting Aaron Jones enough touches. They're running. I mean, I know he had a hamstring problem. I don't know if that's holding him back, but like he needs to be in the ball game. You have to get Aaron Jones a football. He is your best weapon. He is by far one of the best when he gets involved, like he catching
in open space. He's great.
Like, he's great. And they're getting the ball to Dylan Moore. I just don't understand what they're doing over there in Green Bay.
Well, personally, I love what Jordan Love's doing.
I bet you do.
I love it. Hey, you're doing a great job, kid, okay? Hey, you keep your head on tight. You keep turning that ball over.
Let me ask you, will Kirk Cousins have a repeat performance? I know consistency has been a problem for Kirk
Listen
Cousins.
to me. This was a unicorn game for him. I think he's a competent quarterback, and as Justin Jefferson reiterated in that post game, by awarding him a top 10 chain, he's a top 10 quarterback. But those kind of get 387 yards, 3 tutties. He's not going to duplicate those numbers. I think they'll do what needs to be done to get the win. I think morale's at an all-time high. When you face a 49ers team and you beat them.
How about man Addison, though? He was doing it.
And that was the biggest. When he went to the locker room, I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can't win. KJ Osborne, sideline, drops the ball. So without going into that beautiful performance last week, I think the Vikings take this game.
They need an Addison or Jefferson on that field because KJ Osborne's your slot guy. He's not going to be.
Well, Brandon Powell looked very good.
He's a gadget guy. He's very fast.
He looked very good.
He's fast. He's quick. He's a gadget guy. He runs reverses. He does jet sweeps. He does all kinds of.
After the game, Kirk Cousins texted him and said, "The player that I saw on that field, that's the player you can be for the rest of the year."
He's a great footballer.
He's great.
He's one of those guys that no one knows about. But he's a very, very good gadget guy.
And the last thing I'll say about this matchup, ain't nobody scared to play in Lambeau.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, baby. I ain't scared.
Not anymore.
It might be October and Halloween might be around the corner, but I ain't scared.
I wouldn't be scared. Lambeau it's the Packers are taking a step back, unfortunately.
All right, talk to me. Who we got up next?
I'm going to go Bengals, Niners.
I ain't touching it. I'm not touching it.
They're coming off a big L, and the Bengals are trying to get back on track. Purdy's in concussion protocol.
Is he going to play?
We don't know.
Who gets the start if he doesn't play?
That's a good question.
Oh, you know.
I know. It's Sam Darnold.
That's right.
He might be seeing ghosts. I don't know.
That's right.
And you know what they say? The Bengals ain't scared of no ghosts.
No, they not. The Bengals, outside of the very rough start to the season, I still think the Bengals are a good team.
How ironic that during Halloween weekend that Sam Darnold might start. Ghosts, Sam Darnold. I think the Bengals might have something going here. And I think the Bengals, if they get to play Sam Darnold, they might be a little spooky.
And the
Bengals are orange and black. How great is that? It's good. It's all lined up. They're Halloween special.
I didn't even realize that.
Darnold seeing ghosts against the orange and black on Halloween weekend.
I feel like Joe Burrow got his feet back, I really don't know.
Is that a win for the Bengals? You think the Bengals now, just out of that irony, just win that game no matter what?
Oh, either way, they're going to have to deal with Fred Warner and that defense.
Well, it's the Bengals can't seem to get on the right. Like, one game they look amazing, then they come back and they just look like a dud. They look at the Bengals of old. Why can't Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, why are they not the same right now? I don't know. The calf's over. I'm done with the excuse.
Are you sure we're done with the calf?
He said he's healthy.
That's what he told you, though.
He's healthy.
Listen, I'm gonna make this small remark about injury and what's reported. Bijan Robinson. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, that was a wild.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. So in the calf,
That was a wild
so when we
situation.
talking about the calf,
He ran one time, and if you made any bets on Bijan Robinson, you were not a happy person.
listen, there's what was the word they used? There's an inquiry into.
I heard so many things of what happened.
It's a mess, and Atlanta will figure it out. But what I mean is, like,
I think Arthur Smith had the unders against Bijan Robinson and played him one play and said, "All right, you're out, buddy. I gotta win some money."
we don't know if it's still bothering Joe Burrow. You hope, but the offense, the heart of that team is him. The defense, well, they're only as good as long as they're on the field. They're good, but like you said, if you're on the field, time of possession's 10 minutes.
I mean, time of possession is it's game flow is so important in this league.
And you can't get that if there's a lingering injury, man. You hope he's got it together. You think, well, the game he bounced back and had what? 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had over 100.
I mean, he had 15 catches against the Cardinals, but like it doesn't seem like him and Higgins are getting on. Like they used to have a good rapport. Like one gets 12, one gets 8. Then Tyler Boyd would catch a few balls. And it just feels like they're not.
And that's the only thing I can think of. Right? Last year, juggernaut of an offense.
They're not clicking.
We're like, oh man, this is the last year because you can't keep T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase. They're all certified wide receiver ones. Now this year, you're like,
where do they go?
I don't know. You're like, I don't know what we're gonna do with them.
But the Bengals, like this is what they did last year too. They did the exact same thing, and then they all fixed it together, and then they all looked great again. So will they do it this week? It's probably
Who's favored in that game?
The Niners. Well, from what I understand, the line is very back and forth right now because Purdy.
That's not good.
In the Purdy situation, he's in concussion protocol. Who knows? So I don't know. I think that I'm going to take the Niners just on that defense alone. I could see it going either way. This is what I had last week at Jags and Saints, and I got a lot of feedback from the Jags fans that hated my pick of the Saints, but that game was exactly what I expected. One play, decide the ball game at the end of the game. You dropped it, ball game over. It's very simple.
I'm going to say it's all contingent. The 49ers' success is contingent upon if Deebo Samuel plays and if Trent Williams plays. I don't think they faced a tough defense in the Minnesota Vikings defense. I don't think it was tough. Brock Purdy couldn't get it done.
Well, the fact of it is the Debo's the biggest loss because they like to get Debo in space and let him run.
What is his yak? Like 20? His yak is like 19 something.
When he gets in, he's a big boy. So when he gets in space, he's hard to bring up. I mean,
so they're going to need him.
They need Debo.
But I think he's out multiple weeks.
I do agree. And I think Debo and Christian McCaffrey wasn't. I don't know if he was 100% in that game.
No, he fumbled. When was the last time he fumbled?
I don't disagree.
You know? So, I mean, you go take the 49ers, I'm going to take the Bengals.
Okay. Like I said, I'm hesitant on that. And
that's
why
the line keep moving.
It's back and forth.
All right, who's next up?
I want to talk about, I would never pick this game unless Tyson Bagent wasn't the quarterback, but I'm taking Bears and the Chargers. The Bears are going to L.A., and we know that L.A.'s fan base is not huge on the Chargers. So this is not a road game. I mean, it is a road game, but it's not going to feel like a road game for Tyson.
Okay.
Tyson didn't turn the ball over. Now he faces Mac, Bosa. He faces that front line. But you just said their defense is bad. Plays?
I agree. No sense. And I agree because of all the talent. I do agree.
They have Derwin James. They have Kenneth Murray Jr. They got Bosa. They got Mac. I don't understand why they can't stop people. They got Samuel. I mean, these guys are supposed to be like something.
Samuel Jr. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, something is not clicking for that team.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think that the Bears have such a good game plan for Bagent, and I think that he's very into the system and very intelligent, that he's going to play within the system, and I think the Bears are going to find a way to win 2 in a row. What I saw against them and the Raiders, that team had more energy under Bagent than they did under Fields. And I don't know, like the receivers were jumping up, the receivers were doing things. Bagent had the fan base in it. They wanted it. They wanted more. And it just built that confidence for him. And that's what. Listen, if Kurt Warner says you have talent, you probably have talent because he can notice it. And this is an opportunity for Tyson to maybe hold on to that number 1 slot because they weren't winning under Fields. There's more to playing the quarterback position than just numbers. It's about not turning the ball over. It's about playing within the system. It's about people believing in who you are, and he has the respect of his players, and that's super important.
And that's, I think, every week what Tyson Bagent's going to do is he's going to show the world, because you knew, and the Bears organization knew. Like I said, they were very high on him in the preseason, and we're seeing it. It
took a lot of guts to make him the second quarterback.
It did, and he's confident. He has swagger. He's big, 6'6", 200 something pounds. He can move. I think he's going to be great. Not only that, he's a student of the game. Coaches get annoyed with him, apparently, because he spends so much time watching film.
He gets focused. And they said for a week he didn't really say anything, and they thought he was nervous, but he said he was just dialed in.
He was just dialed in.
What he has to do. And that's coming from that. Once again, I say it all the time. When you come from a family that have champions, that is what you get. And his dad being an arm wrestling champion for 6 straight years. You don't become an arm wrestling champion for 6 straight years unless you have will, fight, focus. He got all that. And it comes from that kind of family. So I like. And I'm going to take the Chicago Bears to win 2 in a row, and Bagent's going to start 2-0.
I think if Tyson can have a good enough game, play it slow, don't get ahead of yourself. The offense will, they'll rally around him. And I agree with you. I think the Bears will win their second straight game. I really do. So I'm going to take the Bears.
Last game I got on the slate are my Raiders against the Detroit Lions.
Do we need to talk about that?
No. Do you know the Raiders' offense hadn't scored 20 points all season?
It's not good. It's not good.
I mean, you have a coach who's supposedly an offensive guru, and you have Jacoby Myers, and you have Devontae Evans, and you have Josh Jacobs, and you have Michael Mayer, and you can't score. Yeah. There's something we're missing. And there was a reel this week about Vegas Ralph is what they call him.
Who was that?
Vegas Ralph is like the big Vegas guy who likes all the sports teams in Vegas. He does this. And he was celebrating the Vegas Aces. Congratulations on another WNBA title, by the way. Las Vegas Aces won. And he was celebrating that in a parade. And but he also had a sign that said, "Fire McDaniels, it's time." And he found Mark Davis and went up to Mark Davis and told him to smarten up.
Are you serious?
I swear. It's a great reel. Go look it up. Vegas Ralph is a great reel.
Find that.
And you could see Davis was annoyed, but he interacted with it. Like, he was so annoyed because he knows it's time and you can see it. Like,
and then I think it's even more, and you're a Raiders fan. You're a Raiders fan. So you can chime in and you can correct me and you can tell me. But I mean, when you have a Devontae Adams expressing his frustration with not getting the targets, and then the team says we're not going to move him before the trade. Like, he is set, right? Like, if you're going to keep such a large piece in place, if you're not going to want to, quote unquote, blow it all up, McDaniels might be out of there.
He has to be, because obviously his system is not working the way that they wanted to.
And they've given him time. Have you given him time?
So when you've done this before, he did to the Denver Broncos. He ran Cutler out of town. He ran Brandon Marshall out of town. He replaced him with Kyle Orton, Tim Tebow. He replaced him with all these clowns. Yeah. And you've done it before, and you've destroyed a franchise, and now you're doing the exact same thing, and you took over a playoff team. He didn't take over. That team had made the playoffs in the previous year. And when you take a team and you completely make it to where they can't score, something has to change.
It's bad.
And it's that room. The players are saying things that aren't directed at McDaniels, but you know they're fed up with the coaching and you can feel it. Yeah. But they're professionals, so they don't want to call their people out, but they're saying things.
Well, players are doing it. And I feel like that's the new thing nowadays.
Another coaching woe this week. We have a rookie, Aiden O'Connor, who people have big on, think he's got some potential, and they start Brian Hoyer, who was 0-12.
Yeah, what was that about?
I mean, and he showed why he's 0-12.
And then McDaniels gets on that freaking podium and goes, "This is not the preseason." But what are you talking about?
This is not the preseason, but you had started him in a previous game.
He's out of there, man.
Earlier in the year against a division opponent where you had a chance to win the ball game.
Yeah, so if I'm him, I tell you, I tell him, collect your things, man. You're done.
Because he's running out of excuses and things to say. So now he's thinking of dumb things. He's saying dumb things and making himself look dumber as we move forward.
It's all
like I said, I've had it. The Lions are going to win this ball game. The Raiders hopefully score 13 points, and it's not a blowout, and people can get at least a little something on. And they're not winning this.
He said at least the Raiders can get a little something.
Like, Adams is fed up. Crosby's fed up. They're all fed up, and they deserve to be, rightfully so. They
Well,
deserve to be, rightfully so.
they're not the only team or only players that are fed up. You're getting that.
Oh, the
from,
fans are fed up. I can tell you. Every
Well,
sports page says fire McClownels, fire McDaniels. This guy's a clown. This guy's
well, and if you notice, I think one of the bigger points that you made, which is like indicative of him being gone, him getting out of there, is like you said, you have a team that's like riddled with talent. You have a guy that led the league in rushing last year.
Chargers and the Raiders are the exact
I was
same.
just gonna say, he's out of there.
Yep.
Okay. After the Washington loss, Jonathan Allen, I think that's his name.
Oh, he's a monster.
What he said, man, I'm quoting him. He said, man, I'm sick of this shit.
Yep.
So I'm sick of it. He said, it's 7 years, man. I'm sick of it. Ron Rivera, pack your bags.
The reason the good teams are good is because the organization is a good organization. The bad teams are bad because they have a bad organization. I mean, it's very simple, and it starts up top. Like, it just doesn't make sense to be an owner and just see this over and over and over and see the fans are fed up. The only thing that matters is money to them. It's the only thing I can figure because there's no other reason for him to have a job. But moving that forward, I'm taking a line.
Okay.
I'm sick of it. Just sick of it. Done. Can't do it anymore.
We got anything left? What we got?
I mean, once again, we had a great week over here. Best Bet had an amazing week. They were super slammed. They gave away all the giveaways this week. Every table in the house was full. It was very awesome.
It was great.
Congrats to all the winners that came out.
Absolutely. Packed
very
house.
nice dude. Won the 13K package, so I was very happy about that.
Was he?
Steve, yeah. Steve, New York Steve. Can't think of his name. Steve.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he won it, and he was about to walk out. And we were actually sitting here. We're like, hold up a second. And as he was walking out, they called his name.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
so he
awesome.
got the package. So that was good.
Awesome.
And it was a great week for them. Great week for just everyone's great week for Best Bet just in general.
Yeah, and then we have the World Poker Tour that starts
WPT starting
today.
over in Jacksonville.
Today, actually, event
yeah,
one,
it's
$400 no limit hold'em tournament, and that's
busy
gonna
couple
go.
weeks.
That's gonna go all the way till November 11th.
Probably a jammed house this week if you're looking for somewhere to play poker because the Florida Georgia and WPT in the same week. You're going to get a lot of tourists. You're going to get a lot of
juicy games.
Big
Juicy
games over
games.
there in Jacksonville.
And
if you're looking for something to do.
Yeah, and if you need any more information, you can head over to bestbetjacks.com. They will give you all of the tournament outlines, the guidelines, and the information that you might need. And you can come in there. There are plenty of TVs. You can watch some football, have a couple brews, and play some poker, or play in our pit, which is showed right behind you. And you can get your chance to win some big money this weekend.
Very stoked. What is one thing you're excited about before we go? One thing you're excited about in the league, in the NFL this week?
I'm gonna admit, and you're gonna like it. I'm excited for Tyson Bagent. I want to see him play. Not that he didn't play last week and it wasn't a full and complete game, but I want to see him from start to finish control and lead a football team.
I think this is a big opportunity for him. Also, man, you're on prime time. Everyone's going to be watching you because you're the only game on. And obviously, the normal fan is not tuning in to watch the Bears.
No,
you know what I mean. They want to see. They want to see
all
the Chiefs.
analysts. All the analysts. Everybody wants to see what the kids got.
This is a big spot for him, and I think he's going to take complete advantage. I don't think he has that pressure that a lot of people see. He knows that he's been doubted his whole life. And when you've been doubted your whole life and you get that opportunity and you put a stranglehold on that opportunity and you just take it by the horns, and that's what he did last week. They scored 30 points. Now, they ran the ball great. He checked down to a couple times, but he made the throws when it was necessary. 2nd and 20, it never phased him. He got it into DJ Moore in the middle of the field. I mean, he did all the right things.
He has a demeanor kind of like Brock Purdy, where he's just not really troubled. He knows the odds. Like you said, comes from a winning family, knows the odds have been stacked against him his entire life, realizes what's in front of him, but he's not like flustered by the moment.
He was 21 of 29. He completed the ball to 9 different players on that Bears. That's spreading the ball around, and that is. As a rookie, I can assure you, as a rookie, most of them are going to lock in onto someone and find out that that's their go-to guy, and they're going to do it because they feel comfortable. He didn't do that. He spread the ball around to the open player, and that's that. Like I said, I saw a different Bears team. I saw the receivers very excited. I saw the team just jumping up, making plays, fist bump. They looked great. So
they're rallying around him.
They rallied around him. And they believe in him, and that's what's important. As long as you get guys that believe, that's what you need in this league.
Believe in the tea bag.
Tea bag for life.
I'm very excited for that. But this weekend, I guess they're gonna catch you at the Florida Georgia game.
Yeah,
you guys look for the hat.
Look for the hat.
He'll be giving away some. He'll be giving away some merch, and what he'll ask of you, I don't know yet. You just got to find out when you get there.
Right? I am gonna be carrying a football around if that tells you anything.
But that'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see that this weekend.
I'll have the stick and have the live, and y'all
if they might not be able to make it to the festivities, where can they find this? You're gonna be live streaming from your Facebook?
Yeah, I'm gonna be live streaming on Facebook. I'm going to post that live stream also on our YouTube channel. We need to post in here so people can click on it.
I'll post the link. Yeah,
I'll post the link. We're also on Spotify. That is under Ebony and Ivory. And moving forward, we're going to try to do more live shows from different places, and we're going to have fun with it. And we've already talked to a few bars, and we're slowly but surely making our progress. And
I'm excited for that. I can't wait.
We actually might sit out. We're talking about sitting outside of Twin Peaks, which is new to Jacksonville. So we're getting out there. More people are seeing it. More people are enjoying it. I'm having fun. No matter what, I'm having fun with it, and I hope everyone else enjoys it too. Because it's a lot of fun, and we enjoy it. So
absolutely.
Once again, thank you guys for joining. Thanks for all the comments. We're just going to keep doing it and see what flows.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode, guys. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for joining us between the Hashmarks, guys.
Go Gators.
Ooh, go Gators.